Morning, everybody. It is 8:14 a.m. A little late. Sorry about that. And this market is up big time. We got the SPY up 1.32% pre-market, and the Q's up 2.11%. SPY is at or above all-time highs. This is nuts with NVDA's earnings. They beat, so the market is going nuts. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. This semiconductor run, this AI, right? It's the future. So it's causing euphoria. Definitely causing euphoria. Without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and buying profile to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, anchor VWAPs, and the most traded price of the year, which is a rolling year and a rolling month and a rolling week and the previous day. All to find structure in the market. You want to be on the side of strength. That's basically what I want to go. I want to go with the momentum, right? The momentum is always going to be the easier play. Okay, I don't want to go upstream. Okay, fight the currents. That's not going to make too much sense. Okay, so if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, set an alert. That would mean a lot. You could also give me a thumbs up or a like if you like it. If you're undecided, do it at the end. That'd be much appreciated. You could always follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right, let's get right into the futures watch list, okay? And see what is going on. We have the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, no surprise, tech is up 2.09%. Big move. Okay, Ether's up 1.5, ES is up 1.32, Silver's up 0.79, Bitcoin's up 0.63, Russell's up 0.46, Dow's up 0.45, Gold's up 0.18, 10-year yield is flat. Well, it's flat. It's not flat. It reports at 820, which is in 3 minutes. 30-year bonds being sold slightly. Dollar is down 0.18. Crude is down 0.28%, and the VIX is down 7.63%. Okay, we were over a 16 VIX yesterday at 14, a little over 14 now. A lot of that fear, anticipatory FOMC minutes, and NVIDIA's earnings, which is really what's mattered. The FOMC minutes did not matter. So that's what's going on there. Let's move on to Mag 7 Plus. Got NVIDIA's up 12%, almost 13%. Okay, Monster. AMD's up 5.61. Snow's up 4.07. Meta 2.45. Coins 2.43. Amazon up 2.37 and Microsoft up 2%. Okay. Some not getting love. I saw Boeing, I think, got rid of their 737 Max head of that division or something, like the safety part. They're up 0.65. All right. Tesla's really, even though it's up 0.63, it's definitely a laggard. Same with Apple, laggard, right? And what I'm seeing with Tesla and just the energy, the electric vehicles are really not seeing a lot of demand. Like Rivian, Lucid, not really showing great demand for electric vehicles, and they're doing price cuts. It's not looking good for that industry right now. Moving on, let's go to top sector stocks. Salesforce up 2.2, Eli Lilly rebounding, up 1.89, Qualcomm up 1.54. Is there laggards? There is a little bit. Got Exxon, United Healthcare, Procter and Gamble, PEP. All right, these are staples, defensive. Okay, so people probably taking some money out of there, rotating into tech again. Just very interesting, right? All right, let's look at my swings, my swing trade list. I always go to the wrong one. All right, leading the pack, Super Microcomputers up 12.1%. No ARM up 7.2%. That SoundHound up 7.16%. Dutch Bros reported earnings. I didn't see if they beat or not. Obviously, it looks like they did beat. All right, Royal Caribbean and Vertiv. Even though Vertiv got bad earnings, it's getting bought. Okay. Like a Marvel. This is that pharmaceutical that NVIDIA is invested in. That RXRX, Carnival Cruise Line. So it looks like Cruise Line's getting some love. AI, Wayfair, CrowdStrike, Dell, DoorDash, Cloudflare, Taiwan Semiconductor, Broadcom. Those are leaders, right? And there's not much laggard to speak of here. The Lucid did have earnings. Like I said, electric vehicles not having a good day. AstraZeneca, and then there's not much to talk about as far as laggards. This market is very bullish right now. Okay. All right. Let's move on to sectors. No surprise here. Jeez, my lord. Semiconductors up 5.47%. That's crazy. All right. XLK is up 2.39%. Remember, XLK is 28 to 29% of the S&P 500. Okay. XLC up 1.17%. XLY up 1.87%. Is there a laggard? Utilities. Okay. Utilities is the laggard. Staples, energy. Okay. That's what's going on in the sectors. Okay. Let's get on to some get into some news. Obviously, NVIDIA is the news. Basically, NVIDIA is the news. Okay. Let's see what is gapping up here. We'll get into some news here. All right. And we know NVIDIA and everything semis is going to go up. Okay. Let's see here. DoorDash got upgraded. That's why that's up. Okay. Cody's upgraded. That's why that's up. Other news. Let's see. Super microcomputers. 1.5 billion convertible notes offering, likely in sympathy with NVIDIA. Okay. I'm just going to mention stocks that I watch. Lyft, a $400 million convertible notes offering in Lyft. That's up +1. Okay. Just trying to see what else. That's really else here. Let's go with gapping down. You can see Rivian down 6.8%. Also announces 10% workforce reduction. Okay. And then let's see here. Gilead was downgraded. That's why that's down, but not down big. Not down big. All right, that's really what's going on there. Let's go on to our economic calendar today. We have some stuff here. Okay. All right, 8:30 a.m. We have, oh, by the way, the 10-year yield is up 0.32%. Even though NVIDIA is pushing this market higher, the 10-year yield is higher. Very interesting. Okay. 8:30 of Chicago Fed initial jobless claims. Okay. 9:45 you have S&P Global Composite PMI manufacturing. All right. So man, really not a great time to enter the market this morning at 9:45 a.m. or even close to the open with these news coming out. Even at 10 a.m. you got existing home sales, and then Fed Jefferson speaking at 10 a.m. Okay. Then you got a bunch of Fed Harker speaking, Cook, Kashgar. This is after the close. That's what's going on today. So right now in the morning, it's about initial jobless claims in the Chicago Fed. That's really what's going on there. Now the juice. Let's see what the juice has got for us. really just talking about NVDA and talking about, you're not seeing cuts until June now. All right, that's what's going on there. Um, let's look at earnings. Okay, earnings. Who reported after the close yesterday? Rivian, Etsy, Lucid, Dutch Bros, Marathon Oil. Okay, this morning, Moderna, Nikola, Wayfair, Pioneer Natural Resources. They reported this morning. I didn't get a chance to see what they did. Well, some of them obviously I did. However, let's move on to daily charts. And again, this is like, it's an insane market right now. Very, very, very insane. Okay, let's look at these daily charts together. And what we did yesterday almost doesn't even matter, right? It just doesn't matter. All right, so yesterday opened here, closed here, right at the 90-minute daily. Okay, came all the way down, pushed down, was past the 20-day moving average on the simple moving average on the daily, right? Which was like, ooh, after the FOMC minutes, you push down, and then just, as it usually does, as I talked about yesterday, the zero DTEs got bought up and managed to close up here at the highs. Okay, maybe anticipatory of NVIDIA's earnings. Okay, now today we're at 503.90. We are all the way up here, all time highs. That's where we're at right now, all time highs. So that's just crazy, crazy. Over last week's highs. Obviously, it's going to be over anything because it's the all-time highs. It's just insane. Um, just insane, craziness. All right, let's look at the Qs. All right, Qs was weaker. Okay, you can see yesterday we broke this 425 level. Okay, we were pushing back. We were pushing down. Okay, to 421, and then whoop, bought up. Right, bought up, closed at the highs, closed at last week's lows. Right, below the 20-day simple moving average, below the 90-day daily. And where are we at now? 434.35. 434.35. We're about right here, close to the highs of these two candles. So these shorts have not been hurt yet. Right here. So if somebody shorted here, have stops here, they have not been hurt yet. So that could push this market right up to here, about 438, 437.9. Okay, craziness, because the Q just was relatively weak, to see if this just blows through the all-time highs again. Craziness, really crazy. Big gap up. I mean, this is like crazy. So that's what's going on there. Let's move on to see what the triple-headed monster's doing. Like I said, this market's pushing up, but the 10-year yield is also pushing up. Okay. So 10-year yield is breaking the 100-day moving average right now. So somebody is lying, right? Because like these yields are rising as the market's rising. That's doesn't usually always happen, right? So something's gonna break. Meaning, like, if these yields keep going higher and higher and higher, it's gonna keep putting weight in equities. Okay, but if you get a swift move down, that's gonna even give more fuel to this market. Okay, now we talked about the VIX finally had fear yesterday, right? Finally had fear. It was up to 16. and now we're down to 14. Look at this gap down all the way back down to here. Fear been sucked out of this market for right now. Okay, and now the dollar is getting weakness. Now, if you notice just what happened with the dollar, now something might have just happened with these jobless claims. Let's look at the jobless claims, because this dollar was all the way down here and now it's all the way at the highs. Okay, so something, we obviously got a news drop with the jobless claims. All right, let's see here. So initial jobless claims forecasted for 215, under at 201. So generally this is bearish. Okay, like initial jobless claims, right? People, jobless claims, jobless, right? If you want this Fed to cut, you need to see pain here. You need to see this number be larger than 215. It is not. It's under by 14,000. I mean, I don't think this is hugely bearish, but it's not bullish. Hence why the dollar, okay, just shot up. This dollar just shot right up. And look, and now it's even going higher. So this is a mixed signal, right? Because right now it's euphoric from NVDA. NVDA just overtook, I think I'm gonna say, Google in market cap. And it's heading towards a $2 trillion market cap. So if this is just crazy, right? It's like two different worlds, the bond market and the dollar. So this dollar starts shooting up to 104 again, like it's just a mixed thing. The momentum can carry stocks, but the dollar and the bond market usually tell the tale. So I don't know. It's just crazy. Craziness, right? It's such a mixed thing, right? Like, why would the Fed cut right now? Unemployment's low. Why? The market's at all-time highs. I mean, I know why, the lag effect, because a lot of small businesses are getting hurt by the higher rates, right? People can't buy homes. So I get it. But just, it's usually Fed cuts when there's something being broke, right? Maybe they know something we don't. Obviously, they probably do. All right, so let's move on to market profile. All right, move on to market profile. And there's probably not a lot to talk about this big move, right? Okay, so now this profile obviously looks very thin to the top because of this big move, right? And let's look at this profile right now. Okay, first let's just look at what happened yesterday. Okay, yesterday we opened here, right? And then we worked our way down here, broke these lows, broke the lows, these lows, right? Broke the demand that was down there, was underneath the week-to-date VWAP and week-to-month VWAP. And notice one thing what happened here. I just want to notice. In the middle of the day yesterday, the most traded price of the month and the week of 49.77 became the most traded price of the month. 49.16 was the most traded price of the month. So whenever you have these equivalent, a big move was going to happen. And it just happened that once this happened, NVIDIA didn't report yet. And we were down here. We were like, we just moved and we came in here and it happened. And I was like, oh boy, if this NVIDIA jumps, it's going to jump. And it did, boy. It really did. So Now you have this big move happened with all this thin volume. All right, you have single prints all here. You have the single print in here, right? Most traded price though up here at the top. Big, huge monster gap. Okay, so anytime you have something like this, you have to look at the midpoint, the 50% retracement of this huge move, which is about 5,020 right here. So that's what bulls need to defend. You do have a demand zone here. Okay, so, and we're pretty much, looks like we came down. This is called like an open test drive. So you opened here, came down, and then wham, went all the way up there, right? So based on this profile, you can see the majority of this volume now is at the top of this range. Very concentrated up here. Okay, so you got a big gap up. You're pretty much 85% net long, right? So everybody's long. Everybody's long from here and here. Okay. And we know, based on the volume profile, the most traded price of the overnight is right here. And price is above that. And you have single prints. Do have a demand zone here. Okay. So this is defense number one for bulls. Okay. Now, fill in the gap all the way down here. Let's just call it 5,000 would fill the gap. I mean, that's a far ways away. So we really have to look at 5,020, the midpoint in this demand, and we got to look at this most traded price here. Does it have legs to the upside? Possibly, yeah, right? However, notice all this euphoria, and what are people going to most likely do at the open? Take profit. So when I talk about this, this is old business before new business. Okay, so if you're in these calls or whatever you're in, right, the first thing you're going to see is, even if we do one of these, whoop, off the open, you're going to be like, all right, people are going to take profits. If we come through the most traded price of the overnight and these little single prints here, probably going to revisit this demand zone here. And then that's a chance for a pullback, right? If you break through this, then it's the midpoint of 5,020. Then you have single prints that go all the way down to here. And this is just curious of what's going to happen. With a 10-year yield that's higher, with a dollar that just got bought up. Very interesting market. Okay. So if you're a bull, okay, let's get into the scenarios. If you're a bull today, which who wouldn't be? Okay. You're going to look at what I just said, right? So if I'm interested, okay, let's just see me, my style. I'm not interested in a gap and a go. I'm not interested in that. That's not a good risk to reward. That just doesn't make sense. You know, I'd rather have the market push up, come through this most traded price, hit those single prints, come all the way down and test right here, this demand zone. And depending on what it does, if you start getting higher lows, then you can work yourself back up to the overnight highs. Okay. Now another little tidbit, overnight highs are never secure, meaning the market usually doesn't put a high in the overnight and you never see it again. Okay. That's one. Number two is if we do the same thing, we break this demand, and then you got the 50%, the 5,020 here. If that gets defended, could do the same thing. Other than that, I don't really think there's much there for a bull. Okay, and we only talking probabilities here. All right, so now this short is the pretty much what I want to happen for the long. Okay, if you want to be short, because now we know people are long from here and here. Okay, and you know they're long from here with the most traded price in the overnight, right? So what I would like to see, if I'm like, all right, I'm going to take advantage of these profit takers, you want to see a push up, initial push up, probably come through the open, lower high. If you slice through this most traded price, which is around like 5,000, let's call it 5,052 or something like that, and you got single prints here, you could make a very quick run to this demand zone, 5,030. Okay, now you could bounce here, but let's say you break that, right? You say you break that, you're going to test the 50%, and then if it gets super weak, we're going to go right back to the most traded price of the month, that 49.77. Now, I'm not saying that happens, but it's possible. If you just look at the volume here to the right, this is all thin. That if there's strong volume going down and weakness, and remember, even though you're a buyer yesterday, you become a seller when you profit take, right? So you get that extra momentum, this could be taken out. I don't know if that happens, right? That'd be a crazy move. All right, that's what I'm seeing for the ES. Now, as far as the NQ, remember, NQ is not at all-time highs. Okay, NQ is not at all-time highs. Okay, so the NASDAQ, okay, it's a different story with the most traded price of the weeks and the months and all that stuff. It's a little messy. Okay, so you can see here, we were down here. There's the value area, right? Price was all the way down here, but now it's up here. All right. Now, the most traded price of the month is here. That is 17,850, right? Price is above that. This is the most traded price of the year. 17,700. Price is above that. Most traded price of the week's down here. It's above that, right? So it's through all of major composite VPOCs. All right, and it's hitting. This is an old gap that's not filled. That's really where the market hit resistance. Okay, you don't fill gaps in the overnight, so that's where it hit resistance and it went into a supply zone, and that's where it's getting kind of like met with resistance, and you got the most traded price right here of the overnight. Okay. Now, I don't know what's going to happen today at all. All right, so let's look at some key points here. So we did open down here, moved our way down here, got bought up, closed at the highs, overnight session open, pushed down, and then went whoop with NVDA, right? So the main thing is the same thing, overnight price here. All right, I'm gonna have to do this a little quicker than normal just because my daughter had to take her to the bus. All right, so again, 176.67 is the midpoint. Keep an eye on that. It also lines up with the most traded price of this year. Okay, that's going to be a defense for the bulls. All right, got a demand zone here. Now the most traded price of the month is here. Okay, so I can see some points here for the bulls. Now what you want to see is, what I would like to see is, if you're a bull, take out the supply zone, pull back, come across the most traded price, right? And you want to see if you can hold this level. That's one. All right, next would be a test of this demand zone. That's two. right? Now, other than that, you could get a deep pullback into the most traded price of the year when this is demand zone here. That could be, and you got monthly VWAP here. That could be the other one. All right. Other than that, I wouldn't be interested. Now, as far as the bear play, you are above a key level here. This most traded price of the month. You are in supply. You are in a gap that has not been filled yet. You already have all the buying. Okay. Now again, same thing. Most traded price is here. If you get a push up and you can't take out this supply zone and you come back through the open, okay, and you come back through this big level, that could land here. Then you could test the most traded price of the year. Okay, if it holds here and breaks that, you can go all the way down back to old value. I don't know if that's true or if that's going to happen. It could be in the cards. I don't know. 10-year yield's higher. Dollar is creeped up a little bit, so I'm not really sure. Right, I just put this in. Again, I'm going to more lead to the bulls momentum, but you have to, I don't know what's going to look like at the open. I don't know how the market's going to look under the hood. I don't know. All right, so that is it for me today. I wish everybody good luck and stay green, and I will see everybody tomorrow morning.